All right, fellas. Didn't sleep much last night. Just excited, really. Just to get into the job. Just for me, pleasure to be here now. Obviously, some embedded players here, some no boys, but just for what's in front of us, the opportunity. Just fantastic, I think. You know, the quality of players that are here, the facilities that you've got, absolutely class. So for me, it's about setting out. But this is the way that I work. This is the way that we work. This is the way I want you to buy into. So that, well, there's always change when a new coach comes in, but it shouldn't be a threat. It's an opportunity, and I'll ask you to do some things that you might not like, but I want you to go with it. I want you to buy into what I'm asking you to do, because there's rationale. I think there's rationale behind everything that I ask you to do. Okay, so fellas, there's a few bits in this. But right from the start, what I want you to do, I want you to enjoy yourself. I want us to really enjoy this challenge that's in front of us. But I'm going to put you under some pressure. We're going to put you under some pressure. Because you have to be. To play this game, you've got to be put under pressure. And there's some things that need to change, and change is always difficult. But great start today. Okay, so new boys. Just welcome. Obviously, I'm new as well. I have to welcome myself to the club. Welcome, Powell. Awesome, fantastic. So, boys, just welcome these new books. I know you'll make a big impression on the club. Just get after everything. And the one thing I always say is, boys, make people welcome. It's massive. I'll talk through some of the rituals that I like that helps us to be embedded as a group, which is obviously massive when you play a team sport. Okay, coaches. So Powell will do for me. I don't need coach or anything like that. Just Powell. Obviously, head coach. I'll look after attack, but I will coach defence as well. But my key responsibility is going to be how we attack this year. Shez, he'll look after defence, but again, smart dude, he'll coach some attack as well. Danny Evans, assistant coach, he'll spend a lot of time as a transition coach. So anybody that comes up, or some of the younger players that are in this squad, he'll spend a lot of time with us. The big thing for me is nobody gets left out. You shouldn't have anybody at any point saying, I'm not getting what I need. So that's massive for us guys. In Dan's class at that, so it'll be awesome in there. Millsy, he'll talk about his role, his class, Millsy, and we've changed some of the systems. So he'll talk you through those as we work through this presentation. Okay, so what do I want? At the end of this pre-season, this is what I want it to look like, really. So obviously, we're looking at some of the things that we've done as a team over the last couple of years and thinking can improve that area. So there's a couple of things that we'll work pretty hard on. Obviously, defensively, you want to be aggressive, you want to be the best defensive team, but it needs to be a little bit more controlled. So we'll work hard on that, and we'll start right off the bat in terms of contact and building up. By the way, I'm going to change all the calling systems. So the reason why the diary that I'll talk about in a little bit is so important is there's going to be a lot thrown at you. And the challenge for me and us as coaches is that we don't throw it all at you at once. Okay, because it's going to be difficult to pick these things up, but we'll start piecing it together this afternoon. I want us to be super skillful. The most skillful team in the competition, and you know it's not always easy to gauge that, but I think you can see it. You know, I think you'll know you're improving as individuals from a skillful perspective. With real detail and accuracy, and I want you to be able to play off the cuff as well, but structure gives you an ability to be able to do that. So we'll build all those up, and after Christmas is going to be massive. I'll talk about that in a little bit why. For us, just having an unbreakable mentality, and some of the things that's happened to us over the last few years at the end of a season can't happen to us again, and that's got to start from now. From everything we start doing now, that's what we'll be working towards. The culture is something that I'm massive on, and I'll talk through some of the rituals which help us to embed that culture as I roll through this. And then just elite professional players. And I know there's some absolutely fantastic elite professional players here. There's some young fellas who are learning how to do that. I just want us to be so. Everything we do from a preparation point of view, recovery, review, all that, we're elite players. because that's going to get us exactly what we want at the end of the day. Okay, so I've just talked through a couple of things, and there's a little bit here on culture. And just for me, fellas, I think we've all got an awesome job. For me, it's the best job in the world, or one of. Okay, but sometimes it don't feel like that. But when you're in here, I want you to come with a bit of buzz and a smile about you, because I think it's massively important. I was talking to Shez about this the other day. If you're not like me, you can't play the game anymore, and it's not great. I'd love to be able to play. I love to be involved in the training stuff that you boys do. And I think you have to recognise you're in a sweet spot in your lives. So when you come here, it's what's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? You have to have a buzz about it, because you're not here that much really. I will ask you to be here more than you have, because COVID put a fair dent in it. But you're a young buck here, and you just crack on, don't you? You just crack on, and you buzz about you every day, or you should do. When you're here, where you're in a sweet spot, good quality players, just make sure you don't pay lip service to it. You come in, you crack on, and you've got a fair bit of energy about it. Really important, that, fellas. So if I see you miserable and I'm having a pop at you, you know why. I was just talking about that there, just elite attitude players. What they do. There's a bit here that I know some people don't do this, and that's what the diaries are about. And this is massive here. You get better every day. Don't matter where you are in your career. Don't matter. There's things in there that you need to improve, and that's what coming in every day, making sure we know what we're going to do and we've got a plan, and then did we get that right? What do we need to do to improve? And writing things down, that embeds it, makes it real. And then I'm going to do something. Spoke to Jack about this. Did this at CAS, and I felt like it really helped to support the growth of our culture. What I'm not going to ask you to do, this is just for the leaders initially. I'm not going to ask you to just go and read a full book without discussing it. So we'll go through it a chapter at a time, and then we'll come in and discuss it. And these are things that we can help us to grow our culture. Because that's the best culture. They're the most winning team, for want of a better term, in sport in history. Okay, and there's some things in there that are just class. Okay, so I want us to do that. We'll do that as we roll through when Crooks comes back in. Okay, a little bit on rituals. So it's what do we do every day? What do we do every day when we come in? What bonds us with each other? What keeps us absolutely rock solid? So there's a few things there. So that I'm not sure if that's completely embedded, but for me, it gives me a connection with you. It gives us all a connection with each other straight off the bat. So obviously there's COVID that we've got to deal with, but once you get out of that and you've got tested, is make sure you touch base with everybody, and I mean everybody. You touch base with everybody in the organisation and make sure that you've connected with them. I think that's really important. That one there, I learned a fair bit from a bloke called Graham Murray, who he's dead now, but he was an unbelievable coach at Leeds. And that was just the next chair. So wherever you're eating, you don't go, oh, where's my mates? I'll go over there, because obviously with these new boys here as well, you take the next seat. So you start on one table, and I'll talk through that as we're doing it. You start on one table, and then you start filling the next table. Okay, really important. You get to know different people. We're going to get a sign made up, which we haven't got yet, which is just an I'm in. Tap it means I'm here, I'm ready to train, I'm ready to go. Okay, that'll be in the gym, and it'll be as we roll on to the training field. I'll play about with this, breakdowns, bit of banter at the end of sessions, and we'll talk through that as we get out there. And then want to make, there'll be a comp every week. So the last session, losers buy the winner's coffee. I know what you like giving money away, boys. You know, £2.50 coffee. You know, it's an heartbreaker, isn't it? I know what blokes are like with that. So you want to make this competitive, make sure you're winning. Okay. Any questions? Okay, just talk through practice. So has anybody not bumped into Chaddy? I know a few boys have been training there with him. So he takes half an hour of your life, and you don't speak for that half an hour. Right? He just bounces around. He's class. He talks about this about 10,000 80 minutes in a week, and what you're doing 80 minutes when you get to the season, you're playing. What you're doing for the rest of it. And this is about us being elite players and sacrificing, make sure we get the very best out of each other. So there's a couple of things that we'll do pre-practice. So you know what happens generally, you roll out onto a training field, and you know the passing circles that we have in rugby league. You just stand there and just lob a ball. There's you know, you're just chatting about it, aren't you really? But so we'll set it up initially. So you'll have different bits. So it might be rebound nets, just getting you ready for it might be a football rondo. There'll be a few different things, getting you ready to train. Okay, so you're not going out there and wasting time. So you don't want to waste any time when we're out there. The rebound nets, tennis balls, footballs, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so we'll go through that this afternoon. And then for me, fellas, is get everything you can out of practice. You just think it's massive. Every session, you're being focused, getting exactly what we need. So I'll do some stuff on that, which I'll give players something to talk about, 30 seconds, whatever. Okay, Greg Minikin. Where are you, Greg? You remember the one you did?
Yeah, it scarred me for life.
It wasn't that bad. But he was looking at me telling the story, and then when he turned around, he was like, oh, there's 30 blokes there. He couldn't talk then, so yeah, get ready for some challenges, boys. One of the things it looks like it to me as well from the outside that needs to change is don't get rattled. Don't get rattled by stuff, whatever it is. So there'll be some bits in there that might be, well, that's a different session, that. And I just want you to get on with it, because my point there at the top is teams don't tell you what they're going to do. And when you go behind, what you're going to do. When you're 20 points behind after 20 minutes, what you're going to do. It's us getting ready through all that, so he's having all your kit ready. Don't come saying, well, tell me about that session. I ain't got my books, I ain't got my trainers, just make sure you've got what you need, because we'll throw some curveballs at you. And they'll be important for setting our heads that no matter what happens to us, we're going to be all right. Okay? Same as last year, cost-wise, I think. £10 cheaper than at Cass. We're doing all right. Okay, I want you to do it. It's non-negotiable, that one. Boys, fines. I shouldn't have to take any money off anybody, but I also don't like people taking the. And this is the real. He's handing it over. I give it to charity. So I know players will always ask, "What do you do with that?" Going on holiday or something at the end of the season, I'll give it to charity. Okay, it'll go to the foundation. So I shouldn't be taking any money off anybody. We're a disciplined group. We're doing what we need to do. Shouldn't be any of that. Okay. Stand up if you're in. Nice.